States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we have a 6 o'clock public hearing for a CDBG application. So we will forego the minutes and warrants and other business until that's over. So that being said, you're up.
Thank you.
You just introduce yourself and
Can I sit here?
you, I believe so.
Yeah, I can,
Yeah.
I can move wherever you like.
Wherever you want to
Okay.
go, I think is fine.
Okay. My name is Joe Ferguson from the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission, known as CMRPC. I'm a project planner specifically in the CDBG unit. I've met with this body before on FY21 Mount Pleasant Street design. I'm fairly new to the organization, but I've been in front of you all. Thank you to the select board for the time this evening. A little bit of background on the program. This is a federal program from Housing and Urban Development. However, smaller towns in Massachusetts with population below 50,000 have to compete for their funds on an annual basis, whereas larger cities, Lawrence, Lowell, Worcester, Boston, get direct formula funding. Wouldn't that be nice if we could get that here? But we have to compete for it. So that competitive pool is administered by the state's Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. Up to, I believe, last year they were known as the Department of Housing and Community Development. This year's application is capped at $950,000, and they have in the past limited town funding in terms of how much you're carrying from year to year. That threshold was $1.35 million. They have waived that. North Brookfield has open CDBG grants. We have an FY20 grant open that we're completing some housing rehab activity on. But they have waived that requirement. There's an 18-month performance period if this grant is awarded. The due date is March 25th coming up, and we expect an award announcement in fall of 2024. There's no guarantee that submitting the application will result in an award. However, the state has approved a threshold waiver for North Brookfield, given that we have an FY20 grant open. They've approved a waiver that makes us eligible to apply for FY24. So given that there's no guarantee of funding, it's trending in the right direction. They want to receive an application, the state wants to receive an application from North Brookfield. At this time, we are based on the $950,000 funding cap, we are looking to only implement one project this FY24 round, and that is the continuation of an FY21 project that funded the comprehensive design and phase one construction of infrastructure improvements along Mount Pleasant Street. We're proposing to apply in FY24 for phase 2 construction funds only. Again, design is complete. We will need an engineer for construction oversight services, but this is just for construction. An update on phase 1 project. The project is out to bid. Bids are due this week, I believe. So that project, the phase 1 construction is going under construction this spring. In all of the CDBG grants, there is grant administration. No matter if you work with CMRPC, a private firm, or if you did it in-house, the grant pays you to administer the grant. So the state allows up to 30% in administration costs. We are coming in this year, CMRPC, around 6 to 8% of overall grant administration. So again, for the FY24 round, one project, and that is the construction of phase 2 of Mount Pleasant Street. This project came out of an FY19 West Side infrastructure study, and Mount Pleasant was identified in that study that led us into the FY21 phase 1 grant and tonight's presentation on the FY24 application. Again, the due date for application is March 25th. Expecting an award announcement in 2024, and typical as years past, requesting a motion to support the submittal of the application. CMRPC will develop, coordinate the town to submit
submission of a fiscal year 24 CDBG application, including the activities as presented today with allowance for minor budget or program adjustments, and to authorize the chair and CFO to sign all documents required for this application.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion? Did you guys have anything? No?
I do actually. You're the chair that will sign the documents?
Until May.
Well, okay, but I think before what we did is the board authorized Ashley. So I don't know, that's some, because she's
Do you recall
available.
that?
I know you travel a lot.
I'm authorized to sign as the ECO for Pioneer Valley, and I can sign invoices, but not state contracts.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Just wanted,
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did you have anything else?
Just a reminder, I have to carry a second sign-in sheet, and I'd ask if you haven't signed the second signing sheet, I can bring it to you for signature. That's just for the grant application itself. So,
Has anybody not
I
signed?
didn't sign,
I can bring it up to you.
doesn't matter to me. Thank you.
Did you have anything else, or is that?
I don't have anything else.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of 2/13/24 and 2/13/24 executive sessions 1 and 2.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to approve warrants. Payroll number 18, $330,412.39. Payroll number 18A, $588.29. School warrant 1060 for $184,156.90. General warrant number 1061 for $114,741.95. CDBG, NB 20-1062 for $161,528.64. And the wastewater treatment plant upgrade, 1063 for $860,145.09.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next we have an ARPA recommendation. Want to read that?
Dear board members, at their meeting on Wednesday, January 31st, the ARPA committee voted to submit the following spending recommendations for your approval from the town's available ARPA funds at this time. $18,242.51 to fund the repair and replacement of digital security cameras and associated systems at the North Brookfield Public Schools. And you see attached quote. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
I have the quote, I just didn't print it because it's 16 pages long, but if you want to read it, I'll email it to you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the ARPA recommendation of $18,242.51 to fund the repair and replacement of digital security cameras and associated systems at the North Brookfield Public Schools.
So moved.
Second, any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We have some appointments tonight. We have two people that want to be on the, three people that want to be on the Fire Highway Committee.
Oh, there's, sorry.
I don't have
And
one
then
for
there's-
Jason.
Yeah, he doesn't need one.
That's true. Got it, I wasn't sure if
His
you said
reputation
this other one.
precedes him.
Different.
So, so we're gonna, as long as he's willing, appoint Jason Benoit to the committee, and then we have Brian Hayes from Wigwam Road, and Paul Benoit from Birch Hill Road. Want to be on the committee as well. That'll move it up to 5 people. It'll be a little more agreeable for discussion and getting things appoint Brian Hayes, Paul Benoit, and Jason Benoit to the Fire and Highway Committee.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion? You guys have anything to say? Darren, anything?
No, I didn't know we were, nobody had mentioned anything to it, so it's, you know, we're working to try to figure out all the problems that we've inherited with the, project and the shortcomings we're finding.
All right, well,
Extra eyes will be good.
Paul, Brian, you got anything?
Really?
All right,
I'm sure we will,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
as time goes on.
All right, well, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome aboard. All right. Now, we have a Parks and Rec Committee appointment. How do you pronounce your last name? Wewell. Andrew Wewell, 8 Cider Mill Road. Biology consultant. Is that, like, you work for yourself, or?
I'm doing a little work with people I used to work with the US Geological Survey. It's very part-time.
Great. I would say a motion to appoint Andrew Wewell to the Parks and Rec Committee.
So moved.
I'll second. Would you guys like to say anything?
Just very happy to have him step up and come on board.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome aboard. Thank you for volunteering.
And you've already been doing some of that stuff, right? Or maybe I've just seen you all together and associated, I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Guilty by association.
All right, Darren, you're up.
No, because two of us work during the day, so.
Guess you didn't hear me.
Yeah.
You're up,
Sorry.
Darren.
Sorry.
Donations?
Yeah, so we've been requested for the last couple of years, and we're trying to move forward, from Sturbridge Fire Department, for a donation of our old SCBA's from when we got our new ones. There was no trade-in for them, so we kept them for the time being, the old bottles and the old packs. They're looking to use them for their emergency services course that they're doing over there. They're actually going to cut the regulators off, not fill the bottles, just to wait for the kids.
Mhm.
Hopefully, with the amount of kids that from North Brookfield that go to Tantascwa, I'm not sure how many are in that club right now, but hopefully we might gain some people out of that. So we're just looking to donate the old packs and bottles that are just gathering dust at the training center.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve that donation. I'll second. Any discussion?
I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's a great, great use for those. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Is anybody from the BSC group here? No? No? All right.
They're supposed to be.
Mike is coming.
Mike is coming.
I got that from his mother earlier. She was visiting.
All right, well, we'll come back to that then. Emergency management grant contract. Anybody here from emergency management? No?
So it's for $2,700 through Massachusetts Emergency Management. We
Okay.
are going to use it to buy 2 med bags for the fire department and then safety gear for NEMA members, jackets and shirts with safety green.
2 med bags? How much, what's in the med bags?
Basically, it's your first in bags that would go for, medical calls, saying when, say the ambulance is out of town and we're called to go help and assist.
Nice.
We've been using, over the years, whatever duffel bag we could find, and, you know, it's not very efficient. So they were kind enough to do a grant to get us some bags.
So this is a grant grant that's been approved, and then we just gotta sign for it?
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to sign for the contract for the grant for Nabima.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent.
Just stacking up a pile of signatures.
Oh, all right, we'll do that after that. All right. We have the warrant for the presidential primary. Would you read that?
Yes. In the name of the Commonwealth, you are hereby required to notify and warn the inhabitants of North Brookfield who are qualified to vote in primaries to vote at,
The senior center.
the Senior Center, Tuesday, the 5th day of March, 2024, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the following purpose: to cast their votes in the presidential primaries for the candidates of political parties for the following offices: presidential preference for this Commonwealth, State Committee Man, Senatorial District, and State Committee Woman, Senatorial District. And then, here, fail not and make return this warrant with your doings thereon at the time and place of said voting, given under our hands this 27th day of March, February, 2024.
This one.
Is it on there, February, or?
It
This
says
says
March.
That'll
I'll ask
be
her what
accurate.
it should say. Today's the 27th day of February, so.
It should say February, so.
Well, and the date of vote is March 5th, so there's,
Yeah, so there's, yeah, that means
Yeah.
just say.
If you can get it printed out tomorrow, we'll come in tomorrow
Okay,
and sign
so
it.
you just motion to sign it and then you'll have the fresh one tomorrow. Okay.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to sign that tomorrow with the adjusted date, because it'll have to be dated the 28th, right? Sign that around.
Yeah.
so moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Now someone's here from the VSC group. Wonderful. All right, so we got the Madbrook Bridge, is gonna be getting replaced by the VSC group, right? Or with you in charge of it, replacing it, right?
Go
Design.
Oh, the design.
Yeah, so we've designed it through a grant that Jason and I worked on. We're getting, we're getting paid through MassDOT at this time.
Okay. All right, did you guys have any questions on that?
I just had a couple
Sure.
of questions, and I thought it was gonna be a little more informal meeting instead
And
of.
some of the questions I may not be able to answer,
That's what
but
I'm-
we can have a meeting afterwards.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
I mean, if that's okay for you
Yeah.
to set up something.
So-
Is any of this like set in stone yet, or?
It is pretty far along
Okay.
as far as like, so we've gone through 2 rounds. MassDOT has extensive requirements, so we've gone through it.
Mhm.
So it is pretty far along.
Okay, well, most of my concerns are with the connections either side of the bridge and the water line,
It's stuff like that.
and
We've-
temporary
Yeah.
water service, chlorinization and testing of the pipes.
And we've dealt, well, I
Okay.
shouldn't say dealt with, but we've worked with other communities and that was their biggest concern,
Okay.
because it's gonna be offline, the chlorination, so.
Yeah, none of that's actually on the physical plans, that's more
Correct,
of
we
my
have,
concerns, that's
well,
all.
we have, I can give you more information as far as specifications, and we can have, if it would be okay, I'm gonna screw some of this stuff up, so.
Go ahead.
Could have a Zoom call with, the engineers who actually did the design, but that part, much more flexible.
Okay.
But the bridge itself, that's the part that is
Okay.
kind of set.
Set in stone, okay, yeah.
This is Chris and Jemmy. Chris works with me.
Hey,
We just
everyone.
wanna come out and meet everybody also, so.
Yeah, as long as, yeah, like I said, I'm flexible on pretty
Yeah.
much anything, as long as
Yeah.
I'm
But
okay with
that's
everything.
the tricky thing I know for you guys, is because once it's down, it's like, when's it gonna be back up? Making sure that you're using connections that you're familiar with, so
Yep.
there's some other stuff, we'll have some, I think a Zoom meeting would be helpful.
Okay.
But after this meeting, I'd be happy to try to
Okay.
answer any questions.
That's fine, that's cool with me, so.
Okay. Jason, did you have anything?
I reviewed the drawings and it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
It's not a complicated
it isn't.
thing, so I do not.
Is there anything else that we need to do today? Do we have to vote on anything, or?
Probably, if It's already been submitted to Mass DOT.
So we haven't submitted, so we've gotten comments from MassDOT, we've addressed the comments, we are about to resubmit it, but we wanted to come here first and talk with you. The big thing that the town should be thinking of, and is paying for this project. That's something I grew up in New Braintree, so I know that North Brookfield, you guys don't have a lot of extra money, so it's kind of getting a handle on.
Putting it mildly.
So this project is going to be expensive. We've had projects recently bid out in Sheffield. It was much smaller than this one. It's over $1 million. So what the town needs to kind of, and we can assist you with this, but it's applying for grants. You want to do that sooner rather than later. So and I can explain this all now or I can explain it later, but I think that's the biggest hurdle the town has to come or get assistance with is fully funding this project. So if you'd like, I can go over some opportunities for grants that the town should look at.
Sure.
So the first part of the grant that Jason and I worked on was to get the design. So the design is paid for through MassDOT, so the town doesn't have to pay anything for that. So then you'll have a bridge that's ready to be put out on the street for bidding. MassDOT, so in June, I believe it's June 30th, the town would want to submit another grant application. MassDOT will give you another $500,000 for construction. So right now, we're estimating the project, and I know this is gonna come as a shock, but it's around like $1.5 million. So I understand that that's a lot of money. So you wanna apply for the MassWorks grant, or the MassDOT Small Bridge Grant, and I don't know if you know about MassWorks grants.
Yep.
That's the other one that the town wants to apply for. And both of those, I believe, are due in June. So those are two that you absolutely want to apply for. You're very good candidates for it. Like the MassWorks, you're under $7,000, so it fits really nicely into that end of it. Then we want to try all those options. My goal is to try to get this project fully funded through grants. I can't guarantee that by any means, but that's the ultimate goal for us. Then for other communities, what we've done, if there is a shortfall, sometimes MassDOT will step in and give you some additional funds depending on the amount of the shortfall. The other thing is, though, you do want to have like a plan. That would be your plan A, where it's not coming out of the town funds. Plan B is if you don't get all the grant money that you're looking at, how to fund this project. That's where it does get difficult for the town, because I know you have a lot of outside interests as far as like the school and roadways and all that, and I'm sure your Chapter 90 money is being used as we're talking about right now. So it's just kind of, you have some time, but you want to start working on this stuff, because by putting in a good application, you already have a shovel-ready bridge at this point, so it kind of puts you up on the priority list.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
No.
Did you raise your hand or? you
No.
just- I was talking Brandon.
Oh,
All right.
Actually,
Go ahead.
it's okay. So once Mass DOT approves the plans, is there like an expiration date on those plans, just in case it takes a little while to get grant funding?
So usually what the grant funding is, it does take a while, so I don't know if the road is closed at this time or.
it should be.
Yeah. So usually once the road is closed, that kind of exasperates all the issues, but there should not be a expiration date with the plans once they're approved by MassDOT. That said, if you were to wait 10 years, that may be an issue. But for the grants and stuff like that, so say you applied for the grants I'm speaking about in June, you won't usually get the money. You can ask for expedited, but you usually won't get the money until March, so it's a whole time
It's
frame.
gonna be a multi-year,
Yes.
okay, all right, thank you.
Then involving construction, everybody thinks that it's done in a weekend, but you're still looking at least one construction season for the bridge, depending on when it started.
Okay. So there's nothing we have to vote on tonight.
I think so.
All right. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
Jamie, if you want
yeah,
to say
hit me up
something.
with an email, yeah,
Yeah,
or whatever you want.
All right.
I'll send an email, set up a Zoom meeting.
I mean, obviously,
Did you have anything else?
I was thinking
for
this was a little
business?
further than it actually was,
So,
but of course, for
That
final
includes
cost,
most of
funding,
our
you know.
agenda. We'll go to the
I
public
understand.
comment
Like
period.
I was talking to my parents today and they're
Okay,
like.
no hands? All right.
Yeah.
Anybody? Going once,
Public comments?
Yeah.
going twice? All right. Town clerk says annual elections are May 6th. There are open positions.
We can,
There's an
yeah,
announcement.
it's imperative that we apply for those
Are you
grants.
done? Okay, sure.
It would be painful, you know what I mean, like, I know it's an
I'm just gonna
important
read it
road, but
verbatim from
everyone
our
else.
town clerk. Local government has the largest effect on your daily life. The local boards and committees in town shape policy on community.
Yeah.
The local boards and committees in town shape policy on the community.
Oh, she
did it twice. That's okay. It sounds good. Our annual election will be held on May 6th. We currently have open seats with no candidates. If you have ever thought about running and serving in town, here's your opportunity. Learn how local government works and become part of the process. Seats that are on the ballot include Board of Selectmen, 1 seat for a 3-year term, School Committee, 2 seats for 3-year terms, Water Commissioner, 1 seat for a 3-year term, Board of Assessors, 1 seat for a 3-year term, Board of Health, 1 seat for a 3-year term, Cemetery Commissioner, 1 seat for a 3-year term, Library Trustees, 3 seats for 3-year terms, Housing Authority, 1 seat for a 5-year term, Southern Worcester County Regional Vocational School Committee, SPAPAC, 1 seat for 3-year term. If you're interested in running for any of these positions, please contact the town clerk's office for information and to get nomination papers. And then, if you're voting by mail, this is voting by mail information. You can track your request to vote by mail or your ballot to ensure that your ballot was received and accepted by the town clerk. It's very easy, just follow the link, www.sec.ma.us/wheredoivote.ma/trackmyballot/. Any questions, please contact the town clerk's office.
We do have one letter that we should read on the air here.
Want to do that one too?
Sure, go ahead.
Dear members of the board, on behalf of the Town of Hardwick Select Board, I would like to thank the North Brookfield Fire Department for responding to a structure fire in our town on Friday, February 9th, 2024. No one was injured and the house was saved. Mutual aid is a great thing. Sincerely, Eric Vollen.
I'm
I'm sorry if I messed it up. Vollen?
All right, so that concludes our agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody, have a good night. And anybody that's here, if you could just sign in sheet if you have not yet, that'd be great.